Thomas.
Yeah.
Uh, it wasn't meant to be. And I know this is a little this is pretty old news. Michigan State doesn't advance to the Final Four. They lose to Auburn in the Elite Eight. That was tough. I was very upset in the moment. I had maybe said a lot of things that I didn't mean, a lot of actions that I was going to take that I actually didn't take. I don't know if you get what I'm hinting at, but
I know what you mean. I love that
um,
this is like a YouTube apology video that you're making right now. Like,
yeah,
this isn't my character. This isn't who I am.
yeah. I feel like I mean I was like my friends know I mean I say it jokingly and whatever. Um yeah, that was tough. And then all the transfer portal shit afterwards, like it's just been like there was such a high moment right
Mhm.
before that game started, and then like it came crashing down like 10 times harder than you could have thought, right? Because like obviously you're like we can lose this game because Auburn is a good team. Um but then all the shit that happened afterwards
Mhm.
too, like Jace is probably gone with the post he's made. Trey's in the portal. Booker just committed to UCLA for $2 million, which by the way is insane. Insane
Mhm.
because he
He wasn't even playing.
literally did nothing this
He
season. Like
literally wasn't even playing by the end.
they did he did nothing the past 2 seasons, and they were like, "Here's 2 million, come to you." All right, hey, I don't blame him for taking the 2 million. Garrick Norman's gone. That was kind of a thing. He didn't really ever play at all this year either. But then obviously the Trey news is just so tough. It's like, dude, if Jace leaves, that's you're in a starting spot, right? Like I don't know. To
Yeah.
be fair, I guess he probably won't go to the league. He probably won't make money, so I guess he's trying to test the waters, which I can understand. It just sucks because, for so long, especially with Michigan State basketball, it's like, dude, those guys that sit there for 3, 4 years or 2, 3 years and then they come out and start, like, those dudes just mean something. You always have something to look forward to, and then usually they end up balling out too. I
Yeah.
mean, I saw a post the other day. It was like, who was I'm trying to think. I think it was Tillman like had sat till his junior year, and
Mhm.
Kenny Goins sat till his junior year, and Matt McQuaid didn't really play until his junior year, and then like those dudes are all important to the 2019 run that we had. So it sucks, man. College basketball isn't the same, and the transfer portal sucks, and Michigan is going insane in the transfer portal, which sucks because they're getting all these guys, and you haven't heard any news about Michigan State or who they're talking to or what they're doing. It's like, dude, you got to do something.
Yeah.
That's my little talk about MSU. I won't go on because they are obviously out of the tournament, and their games today. It's Saturday. Um, Florida and Auburn plays, and Duke and Houston plays. I think those are going to be really good games. Obviously, all the one seeds. Um, I don't know. I think it can really go any way. I think any one of those four teams could be in the national
Mhm.
championship, or any two of those four teams, I guess I should say. Um, so we'll see. I bet on Duke to win just because like Cooper Flag is literally generational. Like
Mhm.
he's everything and more for what everyone has said for the past like 3 years. Um, and then I bet on Auburn too, just because they are good enough to be there and they're like the lowest favored team. And also this really pissed me off in the moment. I'm still kind of mad about it. Um, their average, I was told this, their average um age for their starters is 23 years old. And it's just like at some point you got to be like just put the fries in the bag, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
get a job. Maybe start looking on LinkedIn. There shouldn't be 25-year-olds starting in college basketball. I shouldn't like someone my age shouldn't be out there starting in college basketball. Just my personal opinion. I get the whole COVID thing, but that's a bit of a stretch, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially because like these people are like, you know, getting waivers for even more years.
Right, right,
Like I can totally see the NCAA just being like, okay, you get 5 years of eligibility now instead of four.
right.
Like they're just making that the standard. But yeah, guys sticking around for six,
I was gonna
7
say, I'm
years
not
is
opposed to
wild.
fifth year seniors. That's not terrible.
Mm-mm.
Like I get it, especially because like injuries and like a lot of people's freshman year they aren't playing, right? So I
Mhm.
get that, but I don't know. It's just it's like, dude, that at some point, It just
Yeah.
gets a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, which, speaking of 25, this past week I turned 25 and now I feel like an
Oh yeah, Tyler's an old man now.
old man. I think I'm almost at unk status. Um, so yeah,
Did you do
it,
anything? Did you tell the people if you did anything fun for your birthday, Tyler? Did you do anything fun? Did you invite me
so
to hang out with you?
So, yeah, we were actually supposed to record on my birthday, and then I had to rain check Thomas because I went golfing with my cousin, and then my girlfriend and my roommate and my cousin we all went out to dinner at B-Dubs and had drinks and had food and everything, and it was really good. So, yeah, that is what I did on my birthday, and then we celebrated the birthday weekend by going out and having some drinks and going to the casino and whatnot. That was really fun. So, it was a good birthday. Yeah, a really good birthday.
Well, I'm glad you had fun, even though you abandoned me,
I'm sorry.
and
I'm
our
sorry.
plans. No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind. It's whatever. I
I felt
didn't.
bad. I did feel bad
I
sending a
didn't.
text. I'm like, dude, I feel bad because I said yes. And I was like, now I have to rain check him.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Um, but yeah, no. I mean, the whole transfer portal stuff. Like everything you would say about Trey Holloman entering is just speculation. Like, is it because he got benched? Does that irk him? Like,
Yeah,
is he just looking for, an opportunity to get some more money somewhere
right,
else? Like, or does he not think that his starting spot next year is guaranteed either? Right?
right.
I don't know.
Or like he could be trying to get more money from us too. Like maybe he
Yeah.
doesn't want to leave. But I say that and then I think like his did you see his mom put out a article on Spartans Illustrated and was like
No, I did
just
not see
rip
it.
dude, you have to look at it. She was like ripping the fans and saying all this shit and like people on Twitter are just like, dude, like you're a 21-year-old grown man and you have your mom writing articles like sticking up for you. Like what are you doing? Which
Yeah.
like whatever, Trey can do whatever, his mom can do it. Like I understand like parents are very like feels like when there's college athletes, like most parents are like helicopter parents and like
Hmm.
super over the top about shit, which I get because people do say criticisms and they are really disgusting sometimes online. But also, if you're gonna try and be a pro athlete, that's just the way that the world works at the end of the day. Unfortunately, it's sad, it sucks,
Hmm.
but that's just how it is. You know, I say mean shit all the time and then I don't mean it. It's very up and down. But still, like if you have your mom going out there writing articles on Spartan Illustrated, I don't know if that's necessarily the best look and probably means you're not coming back because a lot of people did not take it warmly or kindly. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it sucks. Like he was such a Spartan.
Spartan dog,
Yeah, like that was
legitimately.
everything he was. So it does suck that he's gone.
Anyone that follows MSU hoops and you say he was a Spartan dog, they'd be like, "Yes, we know what you're saying. Like, yes, he
Hmm.
100%. He stood on business. He was all about the program, the tradition. Like, obviously, like everything that happened this past year. Like, he put in the work. He's been there since his freshman year. He didn't. He honestly, when I first saw him play, I thought he was ass his freshman year because he was very scared, very shaky. But now he's like gotten into this role. He's become more comfortable on the
Hmm.
floor. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tyler, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, I do want to say Pistons clinching themselves a playoff spot.
Lock it in,
Uh,
son.
right now, I do think it's look like it's going to be they're the sixth seed right now, so they'd be
Yeah.
playing the Knicks. Hopefully, they can move up and take the fifth seed, so they play the Pacers instead. But they're back, and they're not like squeaking in to the playoffs team like they
It's
were the past
crazy.
two times. They're actually a competitive basketball team that
Caden them.
earned
Caden them.
that's earned itself a place in the playoffs. So that's amazing. And hopefully Cade Cunningham can get healthy because he's been out for the past 6 or 8 games, I think, something
Hey
like that.
man, if they're just resting him for the playoffs, I'm not complaining. So
I hope it's just resting him for the playoffs because if it's
he had a
something actually,
I thought they said he had a calf contusion. So,
yeah, I think that's what they said.
right? Okay.
But
I don't think that's anything too serious.
yeah, I guess.
My glorious Kincaid can rest whenever he wants.
And then Ivy might be back by the playoffs. Well, we'll see about that. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
there's talks about him being back. We'll
Okay.
see. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to be
Say,
healthy.
I don't even know if we would really want to play him just because he's been not
There's
on a
also
for
they've
so
also
long.
gotten into such a rhythm without him,
Right, exactly.
trying to
Yeah.
bring him back now. Not that I'm saying like he should be like completely thrown out of their plans entirely.
No, 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 no.
But like when you're in that rhythm
Right,
without someone trying to mix him back in during like
right.
important basketball games,
Yes.
that's when you get into trouble.
Yeah, I definitely don't
Um,
want to try and mix them in during the playoffs. That
yeah,
could just lead to yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I watched like maybe 3 minutes of the Pistons game yesterday. Just like the first 3 minutes, and I swear to God, I could not name. I was like, who is on the Raptors, bro?
I
Like
think
I
the
was like,
Raptors are
holy.
down to
And
like
then
their third
and then
string
I
and
was
fourth string guys right now.
I was at my girlfriend's house and her brother was like, "Oh, I just only know Pirtle and Quickly." And I was like, "Okay, I know both those names." But first off, I've never saw Jakob Pirtle in my life play basketball and he is ugly. He's an ugly, tall motherfucker,
That's
man.
so
Let me tell you
mean.
what. I know, but I was like, who is this dude? I mean, he was like low-key packing people and like sending the shit back. Like he blocked I think he blocked Duran one time pretty good. But I was
Jeez.
like, who is this gumpy ass white dude? And it was Pirtle. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Ingram didn't play. RJ Barrett didn't play.
Oh, he's on the Raptors. I forgot he
Yeah,
got
he got traded
traded
to the
there.
Raptors. RJ Barrett
Yeah,
didn't play.
Barnes didn't play.
Yeah, Barnes didn't play. Like the Raptors are tanking.
Are they all hurt or they just don't play? Yeah, okay. It's one of those situations. I got you.
It might be one of those situations. I don't know
Well,
for
I mean,
sure.
damn, they kind of got a squad. I forgot they had Brandon Ingram. So they got Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett.
Yeah,
Anybody
I
else
mean,
worthy
it's
of name?
just, they got a Brandon Ingram always hurt.
Yeah,
How much does that really do for you? I don't
fair.
know. But yeah, I mean, they on paper have a competitive team. It's just
And
they,
if they get a good draft pick, then I mean, I kind of don't blame them for tanking low key.
yeah, they're at this point they're kind of just tanking for the rest of the year.
They should
But yeah,
draft James
Pistons made the
Richardson.
playoffs. Pistons basketball is back. This team is very reminiscent of, those gritty teams in the from the past, the bad boys, the going to work crew. Like they're actually, tough
Dude, I
in
think
there,
that's why everyone loves them too, because they just like for some reason like what we've talked about this on the pod before, but for some reason, dude, Detroit Pistons teams, they just always end up with that kind of identity and that
Mhm.
personality. And like whenever they don't have it, they're always in between. They never really have a rhythm. You don't know what to say about them. But now you're like they're gritty. They beat the piss out of people. They fight people. Like it's just like it's sick. It's awesome.
Mhm.
It's had you have something to buy into finally, right? Like,
Yeah. And there's
and I
also
get
like,
we're not the greatest team, obviously, but we have a team with an identity, and you can buy into them.
mhm. And there's also like there's like a TikTok like video that's like the Detroit crash outs, and it's like the highlights of them like getting into fights and stuff. And it's like this is it's just the coolest thing ever. Why?
Bro, Beef Stew literally just needs any reason at all to start fighting
Mhm.
people, and he's in. He's in on it.
Yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, Detroit basketball is back. MSU Spartans uh, hold the phone at this point. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if you really quick on MSU again. I forgot. I just remember this. I don't know if you saw the pictures yesterday from opening day with
Oh, with
Izzo.
Izzo
He was
with his
like, there's
phone.
like one like at the very beginning of the game, he's like laughing and shit with Steven and like having fun. And then did you see the clip or the picture where he has like on the phone? He's like, no, like
Yeah.
that's
Uh,
sad. Speaking of Tigers, not a bad start. I don't know if you watch baseball a ton, but Tigers aren't doing that. Aren't they doing that bad?
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
They
you have it? Do
they
you
pulled
like?
off their win yesterday against those
Do you have an
Sox.
MLB team? Do
What?
you like the Tigers? Do you have like, are they your team? Do you have a team in the MLB?
I mean, the Tigers are, yeah, the Tigers. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
I
You
don't
like the
follow that closely. I only
you like
really
the
start watching
Steelers, man. I don't
when.
know. I like to make sure. I know you like the Pistons too, but I don't know. Maybe you like Pittsburgh teams. I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you, Tyler. I'm just a weird guy.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, that's cool.
I'm just a bit strange. When I was really little, I had the weirdest favorite teams of all time. It was Red Sox,
Okay.
Steelers,
Okay.
Penguins, Pistons. And my mom's like, "Why do you like the Pistons? They suck."
Yeah.
Even though they didn't suck at the time. My mom was just weird. And I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, then I guess I like the Heat."
Oh
And
my
then
God.
and then that like me liking the Heat
Bandwagon
lasted
alert.
really like
Gee.
me liking the Heat lasted like literally 2 seconds, and I was like, "No, I don't like the Heat. I like the Pistons."
That's funny. I mean, to be fair, I did. I mean, I obviously all the Detroit teams are my number one teams, but I will admit my dad is a bandwagon. He likes to root for like to get the best teams and like so like Brady. I loved Brady. I don't know if that was because of him really, because he didn't really like Brady until I liked Brady. I don't know what it was about Tom Brady and the Patriots, but huge Patriots fan. And then I did like all the Boston teams, so I always rooted for like the Red Sox, the Bruins,
I think
and
it's
but I didn't really like the Celtics. So that's the thing. I only really like the Pistons.
no one likes the
I didn't really
Celtics.
mess with the Celtics. So
No one likes the Celtics. I think it's so funny that you like Tom Brady, but you hate LeBron.
yeah, it is kind of funny, isn't it?
Like you like one Tyler, is this do we need to be concerned? Do we need to cancel you for this?
No. I don't like Mahomes. He's the next big thing. My dad is like the big dude. My dad is the biggest Patrick Mahomes dick rider. And I say that, I love that man, but dude, he is the biggest hype beast I've ever met in my whole entire life, bro.
Mahomes could be so likable if he like didn't do half the stuff he does.
Well, and it doesn't help. He is annoying as shit. His wife is annoying as shit. His brother is annoying as shit. His dad is a piece of shit. It's like, dude, there's nothing good about this guy. Like, I hate him. And he sounds like Kermit the Frog, too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, exactly.
My
So,
gosh.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, before we continue to just like insult people, we can get into the episode.
Yeah, my bad. My hater came out.
Oh gosh, how do I get to this thing? Mock draft. There we go. All right, Tyler. We are
Okay.
doing a mock draft today.
Sure.
Yay! NFL draft at the end of the month, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's about time we got our first mock draft in. I think we can just run this. Tyler, I'll let you decide. Do you want to run this as a consensus between us picking the guys, or do you want to run this as a you take the odds, I take the evens? Or
I don't I don't know. I think
or
we should
you
do it
take
as
the
like
evens since you can get the Lions pick and I can
I
take the
think we should do
odds
it as a
as a
consensus.
consensus? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm not now we can preface this. We are far from experts on this
Yeah.
draft class.
I don't know a lot of shit. I'll be honest. Like Thomas will talk about offensive linemen. I will not have one word to say about offensive linemen other than, oh, he's like top end prospect. Just probably throw him in there. Like I swear to God, every time we do mock drafts, I'm like, yeah, they need an offensive lineman, so just grab that guy. And then Thomas is like, yeah, he's really good at tackle. They tried him at guard sometimes. He's really fast and nimble and all. I'm like, dude, I don't know any of this shit. So I'm glad Thomas does because I probably sound like an idiot.
Oh, I might be a little bit behind on my draft readiness, but we'll see how I do. Okay, we can get started then, Tyler. We'll start
Sure,
with the Titans.
sure, sure, sure.
Obviously they have their franchise quarterback in Will Levis, so
Of course.
they don't need quarterback. Um,
So here's the thing. Do I don't know. Do because like from what I've heard, Travis Hunter is like the greatest thing to ever walk the field, basically. I mean, I've
yeah,
watched him play. Um, it's just like these GMs have different thought processes. Like, are they going to take best available, or are the Titans going to take a quarterback? Because I don't think they want Levis.
I don't think so either. And I just I think Cam Ward really
Tim Ward is kind of fucking insane.
I think he might just be the guy in this
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Um,
Let's do Cam Ward, just because I do think that's kind of their plan.
like I just find it hard to believe they don't go Cam Ward here.
Right, I agree.
So we'll take Cam Ward, first pick. Oh, big shock.
Yeah,
Browns, how do they find a way to mess this up? Um,
yeah. I don't know. Like they need a quarterback. They need
they don't need
receiving.
they have kitten mittens, Tyler.
They might be dumb and take Abdul Carter.
So here's my thing. I don't think that any of the quarterbacks left are worth
A
a high
first round
round
pick.
draft pick.
Yeah.
But Tyler, do you think the Browns just say, fuck it, we'll go with
Who
Kenny
do they have
Pickett
at
and Deshaun
Who do they have
Watson.
at quarterback right now?
Kenny Pickett and I don't know if Deshaun Watson is hurt or not
I
still.
think he's done though. I
Kenny
think
Pickett would be the starter then, probably.
I think they're gonna draft Travis Hunter.
You think they go Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Because
can see
here's the
that.
thing.
I think
Here's the
that like
thing.
they talk a lot about like is he going to be corner or a wide receiver? I think if I understand correctly, the consensus is he's going to play receiver
Hmm.
and be thrown in at corner
For
like
nickel sets.
for like key downs.
I don't know, dude. I think it's gonna be the opposite.
You think it's the opposite? Yeah,
I
I
think
might be wrong. I might be wrong.
I
It
think
might
it's
be
gonna
he's a
be
corner and
like
then get thrown at receiver like in the red zone and shit. I don't know for sure.
or like they have
Um,
like a package for him. You know what I'm saying? Just because like that kind of limits his snaps a little more. Because like if he plays a lot of snap, I don't know. I don't know, I guess. Because I was watching Sports Center for like 5 minutes yesterday, and Orlovsky said that his NFL comparison is a mix of Larry Fitzgerald and Justin Jefferson. So that's like if I had that draft comparison, I would play wide receiver.
yeah, I think he's a wide receiver. I don't think he's going to be playing corner full time.
But he's a good corner though, too, is the
He
thing.
is a good corner, but I think he's going to be playing receiver full time and corner like every now and then.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that makes sense.
Plus, like you get paid more money to play receiver.
True. Yeah, you do get more money. He's gonna get more money no matter what if he plays two positions. He has the best argument of all time to get more money.
True. I just either way, the Browns need a playmaker
Yeah,
on
I
both
agree.
sides of the ball.
I agree.
This does it.
I agree.
They punt on quarterback for another year, which, frankly,
Fine, which is
with
fine.
their draft position in this draft class, makes the most sense. The
Yeah.
Giants are going to take a quarterback. No,
No,
well,
no, I don't think
are
they
you
are.
sure?
Russ and Jameis, right? They got both of them. Why are they making both those signings if they're gonna draft a quarterback in the first round? Right or wrong?
You're right. I know, Tyler. I know.
So they have a good defensive line though too, low key. So I don't even really but like Abdul Carter is generational though, from what everyone's
So
saying.
I think that they go Abdul Carter here. I don't know how high they are on Kayvon Thibodeau right now, just because of
Yeah, he's
like
kind
he
of
hasn't
weird.
really lived up to his draft
He's weird, dude. Like the whole
status.
thing came out
Yeah,
that he was like, I don't love football and all that shit. You
yeah,
remember
he's a
that?
bit of a weirdo.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
he's also one of the guys that says stuff like, "You have no right to talk about my performance. You flip burgers or something like that."
Okay. Okay. Yeah. We don't
Yeah,
rock
but
with dudes like
I
that.
think that if this is how the board falls, I think they go Abdul Carter here.
Okay. I agree.
Um,
That's fine. That's a
just
good pick.
just because he's the best player available. I get it. They took their quarterbacks. I still think that there's the potential for them to be really stupid and take one,
All right.
but we'll allow that to happen. We'll allow this to happen. Patriots.
Okay. Can you pull up the wide receivers available for me, please? They did just sign Stephon Diggs, correct?
Yes.
And who else? They signed more people too. I'm trying to think.
Um, I think that they might go Tet McMillan here.
He is really good.
He had a bit of a slower 40, I think, than they thought he was going to have. But I mean,
Also,
at his size, at 6'5",
okay, also listen to this. Did you see the interview where he was like, "Yeah, I don't really watch football or film or anything like that."
I mean, he's a wide receiver.
I mean, still though, like I don't know if that's the best look, brother. Mac Hollins, Stephon Diggs. I mean, it would be smart to add a rookie, I feel like, to that group.
Especially because I think Matt Collins is like wide receiver 3 right now
Right.
in that room.
Yeah, let's do T-Mac. I agree with T-Mac.
Like I just like he's the best receiver available. I just think that makes the most sense.
Which that's a sick nickname, by the way. T-Mac is pretty sick.
Okay.
Okay, Jags.
The Jaguars.
See, I need to
Um,
do more research on rosters because I have no clue who the F is on the Jags roster right now.
Yeah, I mean, after losing Christian Kirk, I mean, they still do have Brian Thomas at receiver, who
Okay. Yeah,
very good.
he's a dog. He's a dog.
Mhm. So I'm not gonna say receivers like they absolutely need one because like you can do Brian Thomas and stuff.
Like they have, I don't know though. They have like Gabe Davis, and that's about the next, and Deami Brown.
Hey, Diami Brown's pretty good.
Uh,
I'm not gonna sit here and say that's a really good receiving core, but
uh,
it's not the worst.
all right, I don't know. Like,
Is
what's
Evan
what's
Ingram still on that team?
huh?
Is Evan Ingram still on the team?
Good question. Let me check.
Showing our ball knowledge of knowing
No,
who's
he's
on who.
not.
He's not. Okay.
Brandon Strange is there. I think would be their starting
Oh
tight end,
gosh.
or Johnny Munt.
Well, that's not amazing.
Right.
Um, but I also like knowing their defense isn't the greatest thing in the world right now.
Yeah.
Um, I think this might be a Mason Graham place.
Yeah.
Um, just
Yeah. That's
because like he is a very good, you know, nose tackle
he
to put in
is.
there.
He is.
Um, right now they've got Eric Armstead and Devon Hamilton at defensive tackle, which is not particularly great.
Right.
Um, so I
Yeah.
could
Let's do
see
Mason.
that. Um, I don't really think that they go receiver here, especially with Ted McMillan coming off the board.
If there's someone like really
I don't
like
know if Luther
able to take
Burden
at
is really
five.
someone that they're
Yeah.
looking at. Emeka Egbuka is really a slot guy. I don't know if they really want that. Um, well, I mean, you throw him in the slot as that, but he's not top five pick talent.
Right. Right. Right.
So I could see them going Mason Graham, beefing up that defensive line.
Yeah. Let's roll with Mason Graham on this one. Doing like a best available.
Yeah.
Raiders.
I
I
see
mean,
so much Ashton Genty
look,
stuff with the
I just
Raiders.
thought about this too, though. Listen, like, imagine him in a Raiders uniform. He would look so fucking sick.
He would.
He would look sick.
Is is this a direction that they go though? Do
I'm
they
pretty sure
take
yeah, I think I
Genty?
saw something about the GM saying like something like if I passed on Ashton Genty, my son would like hate me or something like that, or like disown me or never talk to me again. I think is what he said.
So you think they go Genty here?
Yeah, I do. I mean, that dude is generational. Did
Okay.
you see like
Oh yeah, no, he's
about him? He's
yeah.
like
We'll go Genty. We'll go Genty.
right.
We'll chalk it in. We'll chalk it in.
Okay.
Um, Jets.
Jets
What don't they need? Uh,
QB. Don't
gosh.
need a QB, man.
I mean, they have Justin Fields.
That's
I
their
think they're.
future. That's their future QB.
Sure. Yeah, that's a QB on their roster. I
Okay.
say after being a Justin Fields absolute fanboy for
I was
years.
gonna say you were hyping him up when he was
I
starting for the Steelers, man.
I will say I think tackle might be somewhere they want to go.
Yeah.
Um, because right now they have Olufashanu, who they drafted in the first round last year,
Hmm.
but on the opposite side they have Chuks Okorafor, who was
Never heard of him.
Steelers tackle for a while.
Okay.
He was like consistently going to be like the worst like he's a starting caliber tackle, but he's the worst one in the league
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yep. Well, he played
Um,
for the Steelers, so that sounds about right.
yeah, sure. But yeah, I think that this is a spot where you go tackle. Will Campbell, you know,
Is he good?
is consensus at the top. And I just think knowing that they're going to have Fields who's going to want to run around, having a good offensive line to help get him set up for that kind of stuff
Right.
should be a priority. I think Will Campbell's also best available right now. Yeah, he is. This is
Yep.
very chalk right now, but
Yeah.
I
Let's
would go Will
pencil him in though.
Campbell. We can do that. Panthers, Tyler. Panthers. So this might just be me,
Okay.
but I like Xavier Legette a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that receiver is
Like a
their
super need.
biggest
Right.
need.
I think defense is their biggest need.
I think that they really need to boost up that defense. Like they have Adam Thielen, they have Xavier Leggett. Jalen Coker is not an amazing player
Maybe
by any stretch of the
Burt
imagination,
kind of was had a little bit going on too.
but like he has some stuff going on. I think that Jatavion Sanders at tight end can move up in that draft after, his rookie season can have a, you know, more impactful season and like step in more. So I really feel like, yeah, getting this defense situated more would be very helpful. Right now, their secondary is okay. It's not
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Um, their edge rushers, their best edge rusher right now is probably Jadeveon Clowney.
Didn't they just sign J.C. Horn?
JC Horn is their starting corner, yeah.
Okay, so I
Um,
thought they
but
got a
like
lot of
I don't know. I think
money. What's their? Do you know their safety situation? Because I'm looking at Malachi Starks right now.
they have Trayvon Mulrig, who's
Okay,
okay,
he's
and they
decent.
have Damani Richardson, who I
Never.
have no real clue how good he actually is.
I'm kind of liking the Malachi Starks pick here because
You like Malachi Starks?
I know he's a freak and he's good.
Yeah. I mean, he's insanely athletic.
Right.
Um,
They might be able to move him around a little bit too. I feel like maybe back there.
yeah, they could definitely run like three safety sets, like
Right.
throw one of them into the nickel,
Yeah.
or even have three of them roaming around, make put one of them in the box.
Right.
I can see that happening. I don't hate that selection for them.
Yeah.
So we can run that in.
Sure.
Oh gosh, what don't the Saints need,
I was gonna
Tyler?
say, dude, like
That's
you could pick almost anyone here for the Saints.
so.
Um.
I will say we do have a quarterback available.
Right.
We have not had Shador Sanders go.
I kind of forgot about that.
Um, they do still have Derek Carr on the roster
Right.
for now.
Right.
Um,
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I think they really fuck with Derek Carr.
I do too, and I don't really know why,
I
but
don't either.
they do.
They like
Um,
really like Derek Carr.
yeah, yeah. Um, they could use a receiver. I can see
I was
them
gonna
taking a
say, I think
receiver.
they kind of need a receiver. But here's the thing: this would kind of be funny to me. They like have a weird obsession with tight ends. I wouldn't be surprised if they took Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I was looking at Tyler Warren or a receiver, to be honest. I mean, Juwan Johnson is their starting tight end right now, who, he had a decent season last year. It's nothing special, but
Yeah,
like
but like they like to use like multiple
they
tight end sets though,
do.
because Foster Moreau gets a lot of action
Mhm.
too. I mean, we obviously know Taysom Hill works his way all around the field. So
Yeah. My only concern is, well, they did bring in Brandon Cooks. They brought him back,
yeah,
which he gets to go full circle. My concern is Chris Olave has a lot of injury
I
issues.
know his brain is mush at this point.
Um, which like you hope that he can stay healthy, but it would be nice to be able to get a good
I agree, but here's the
receiver to
thing.
go with
Here's the
him.
thing on these receivers. A lot of these guys are like lower first end talents, and I think that the Saints might be thinking, let's go best available. And Warren is like a tight end, but he is like kind of a freak, like athletically. Like
Yeah,
he can do a lot
I mean
of
they can
different
throw him in the
things.
slot, kind of like how
Exactly.
the Bills do with Dalton Kincaid.
Or like how like Bowers was insane
Mhm.
last year. Like he did a lot. So I don't
Yeah,
know. Um,
I could see them going Tyler Warren.
if you're okay with that pick, that's kind of where
I'll
I'm
go.
angled at, unless you have a better
No,
choice.
no, we're throwing it in. We're throwing it in, Tyler.
Okay. Bears. Can we draft the worst available player? Bears, man.
I think this is where Shador goes.
You're okay. So you're trolling. Okay.
They need a receiver.
Really?
Their wide receiver three is Olamide Zaccheaus, Tyler.
What?
Their wide receiver three is Olamide Zaccheaus. I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now. That's their wide receiver three.
Wait, no. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze. What about Keenan Allen?
He's gone.
Oh, he is.
He's gone.
Did he sign somewhere?
I don't know where he went, but he's not there anymore.
Did you just look at the roster?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Um,
think you go receiver. Well, okay.
I mean, they probably want to go offense. Like Ben Johnson is the head coach. They're probably gonna want to go offense. But are they like how's their defense look? I don't know. Like, do they have a good defense? They did make a lot of kind of signings in the offseason on their
Their
offense.
defense is situated okay, I feel like. Like I don't think that they could maybe use a linebacker. I don't think that, linebacker is a good value this high in the draft, just with
Hmm.
the history of linebackers being taken in the first round is not always the greatest.
Right.
Um, D line maybe. But that being said, I really think you either continue to boost the offensive line or you go receiver.
I'm fine with the receiver pick. Let's look at the receivers.
And I like Luther Burden here.
Okay. Yeah, he's fast.
He's
He's fast.
fast,
He's very fast.
when you've
So
already kind of like not that they have like a necessarily big body guy, but like you can throw Luther Burden on the outside with DJ Moore and then have Roma Dunze kind of fill in more of that like
yeah, they can like
big
scheme him.
slot position, kind of like Keenan Allen did.
They can scheme him like they did with JMO too.
Hmm.
So that's kind of a good. Yeah, I like that pick.
Okay, Luther Burden.
Boom.
Niners. Oh gosh, they need a lot. Their team kind of is in shambles right now
They just got rid of so many dudes.
because they got to make room for Barack Purdy. Um,
Yeah. Which they
you
probably
know,
draft. I would feel like they draft offensive line here. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I could see that. I
Especially
don't
if
think that
they're. I
they've
mean, well, think
got.
about it. They're working around Purdy. Like,
Yeah. Now, here's the question: Do you
no, the Muffin Man. Sorry.
do you plan on taking a tackle, knowing that Trent Williams is going to retire at some point?
Dude, Trent Williams is 100 years old, and as great as he is, he will be gone soon. And he has had injury issues a lot recently. So I would say if you're gonna take a tackle, it would should probably be now while you still have Trent Williams on the team.
Yeah. Um, I think you go with a guy who can probably start at guard and then move over to tackle or start on the opposite side and go to tackle. Um, you know, I
Sure.
think that Josh Simmons might kind of be pretty good. He did have an ACL tear that he's coming off
I, s-
of,
yeah, I see that.
which is a concern. Um, but I do think that you can either throw him at guard and he can be okay, or you throw him at right tackle and then move him over to left when Williams retires. I I am concerned about the ACL, but I personally like him more than I
Sure.
like Armand Membu.
Yeah, no clue who that is.
So I just feel like, oh
Oh, look. Hey,
look at
figures. He has
that.
a great game
Look at his
against
high
Michigan State,
grade
man.
score.
Hey, that adds up. Let me tell you what, because I think I was at that game and it was horrible.
Uh, well, that's you know what? Just for that, he deserves
Thanks
it.
for bringing it. I just got Vietnam flashbacks. Thanks, Thomas.
Oh my gosh, Cowboys. They're all in. Gosh. They might need receiver, Tyler. They might also need receiver, to be honest.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, dude, they no, they 100% need a receiver because I know like Turpin is a good returner. Who was that receiver? I had him on my fantasy team last year for a minute. What's his name?
Traylon
Tolbert.
Tolbert.
Yeah, Tolbert is actually pretty decent, but they needed like a more coveted guy. I think it'd probably be smart to bring in a rookie. Just
Yeah,
because like CD is good, but like he can't obviously you can't just have one receiver on your field that does everything.
yeah.
Um,
I kind of like.
oh, they got Mingo too. I forgot about that, but he's unproven too. I can't believe they gave up a pick for him.
Yeah, that's the weird thing is the Cowboys keep like moving stuff for like nothing almost. Like
Right.
I get why they traded for Joe Milton, but like what does that actually do for them this year when they want to win games?
Hey man, people are talking about Joe Milton. They're saying he's a dog.
Yeah, I mean, he'd had a good last game. That is true. Um, I could see I so here's the thing. I feel like Emeka Egbuka is really a slot guy,
Yeah.
and they kind of throw CD there a lot.
Hmm.
So I don't really know if you want to
Dude,
have,
they might take Golden because Golden is like that big physical threat. He's fast. He's good.
and he's a Texas guy.
He's in Texas, right?
Like I can see that happening.
He's a dog, dude. Oh
I
my God.
I like that. I like that. We'll go Matthew Golden. We'll go Matthew
He's so
Golden.
good. Love it.
Dolphins need offensive line like they need water.
Sure.
If Tua gets injured again, I don't think he's playing another football game in his
All
life.
right. Right, right, right,
Um,
right.
and Teron Armstead, also ancient.
Yes.
Do you think they go guard or tackle?
I don't know.
Here's the
Honestly.
thing. They did just bring in James Daniels, who was really good until he got hurt last
Hmm.
year.
Hmm.
Liam Eichenberg is an okay guard. He's like gonna be bottom of the barrel guard.
Right.
Austin Jackson is an okay right tackle. If you're looking at something, you're looking at the fact that Teron Armstead is injury prone and
Hmm.
old.
Hmm.
I could see them wanting guard, but I also do feel like you want to look at your Teron Armstead replacement.
Right.
And I feel like this might be a good spot for them.
Membu? Is Membu good?
Yeah, he's pretty good. You can, I don't know if you actually read these when I pull them up, but he's a pretty decent tackle.
Is that a shot at me? What the heck?
I don't know. I'm pulling them up mostly so that anyone that's like watching the YouTube video can read it and pause and read it if they want.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, like, he's fine. He's a bit smaller, so like bull rushes, and
He's
stuff like
susceptible
that.
to him.
Yeah. Like, I
Gotcha.
don't know if he has the greatest anchor for his size.
He's the highest ranked
He is the highest rated
offensive
tackle.
lineman. I think offensive
Um,
lineman in
I
general. So
the thing is I feel like if he doesn't work out at tackle at the very worst, he will be a good guard.
okay.
So I don't
Yeah,
really
let's do it
think,
because they're kind of in between on guards and tackles. So I think that's a good
yeah.
pick.
So at the very worst, they can figure out where to put him based
Right.
off of where their biggest weakness is. And yeah, like they need to protect Tua because yeah, he's made of glass at this point. Colts, another team that really needs a lot. I is Daniel Jones going to start for them next year? So, uh, that'd be funny.
Maybe.
Um, I could really see them looking at edge
Yeah.
in the first round. Like Kwity Paye hasn't really been the greatest for them.
Right.
Um, you know, Latu, they drafted last year in the first round.
Hmm.
Like he got 4 sacks. I mean, he's fine. I think they overdrafted him personally.
Hmm.
Um, so I could see them going edge. They did lose some offensive line starters. They lost Will Fries and they lost their center. I don't remember what their center's name was, but Will Fries was their right guard. I could
Okay.
see them going guard or center here. Um, but at the
I don't
same
know, man.
time, like I don't think that the value of guard right
Is
now
there.
is there at
Right.
14. Mike Green is a talented edge rusher. He has some off-field questions, I'm pretty sure, if I
Okay.
remember correctly.
I know James Pierce Jr. is really good too.
I I feel like the Colts might shy away from the off-field problems.
Right. Right.
Um, so I could see James Pierce.
Let's do James Pierce. He's good. He's good. The good thing about this is I don't know a ton about like draft stock and stuff like that right now, but I did play college football ultimate team all year long. So like I know like when they draft good cards and I did kind of keep up with it. So I do know some of these names like Jahad Baron. I don't know if that's how you say his name or not, but he's on my team. So you know what I'm saying?
We have let him fall a lot. I mean, and
Yeah,
that's
I
fine.
know. And
I'm not
I'm
like,
forgetting that we Shadur wasn't drafted either.
yeah,
So
Shador still hasn't been drafted. There just hasn't like we haven't done a trade, and I don't think we're gonna do a trade just because like we're not doing a trade right now.
There's no you I mean we could sit here and do trades all day long.
Yeah, we can make every team trade basically. Um, yeah, but Falcons are on the clock. Um, they're sticking with Kirk Cousins as a backup right now, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, we'll see where he ends up or where he goes.
I could see them going receiver here just because right now it's Drake London and friends at this
Yeah,
point.
that's a good point.
Um,
Yeah, Egbuka I think would be a good. Wait, did we draft him already?
we have not drafted Egbuka yet.
I think Egbuka might be a good spot here
Yeah,
because I mean London's like the big body
big guy
receiver
outside, Egbuka
guy
in the
on the
slot. I could see
outside.
that.
They don't
I
really have
could
a. I
see that.
don't think they really have a slot guy.
Yeah, I mean, right now their slot guy kind of is Ray McLeod. I think
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney can sort of play in the slot, but he's also
Yeah,
like,
and I mean Ray had a couple good games last year too. Like they do kind of scheme open the slot pretty well.
yeah,
So
I think Egbuka could come in, be a lot shiftier. I mean, he's kind of Jackson Smith and Jigba-esque.
right,
Not the exact same, but like
right,
they're the same font size.
right.
So yeah, we can go Egbuka. Cardinals.
That's funny.
Um, Cardinals. Oh gosh. You know, they're the Cardinals. I feel like the Cardinals are the one team that I'm always just confused where they're at and what they're doing.
I try to ignore them honestly. I
They
don't really
never
like.
really seem to
I,
be.
I don't really like the Cardinals. I never really have. I don't like Kyler either. I liked Kyler in college. I don't like that he plays for the Cardinals now. So I don't know. Isn't that weird? Like sometimes I like people in college and then they go to a certain team and I'm like, God, I can hate these. Like
Yeah,
I hate them now.
I
Like
see.
I liked Hurts. I liked Hurts in college a lot. I
Mm,
despise
I
him
did
now.
too.
I hate his guts.
I don't hate Hurt. I hate the team he plays for, but I don't hate Hurts, if that makes sense.
Fair.
I root for him. I do not root for the Eagles. Um, Barron, I think one
Just
of the issues with him is he's not like the fastest corner in the world. Like he's not slow by any means, but like he can get burned.
yeah.
Um,
Is
in
he more of a slot guy?
I think he can get thrown around into
Okay.
different spots.
Yeah.
Um, I think he's as like he might get not only be a out wide like an outside corner and a slot corner, but he also might like play some safety every like free safety every now and then.
Right.
I don't know if he is really like I just I see him as like kind of a like he's a tweener, and I think that that really might be like an issue for him
Right.
finding a spot to be.
Right.
So I don't love him uh there.
Will Johnson might be a good pick.
Will Johnson would be a good pick.
He is a dog, if we're being honest. He's
And
good
I do think that he fits a lot easier in as a corner as like, starting outside corner.
as a true corner. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't think he's gonna be that like he's not gonna have that issue of like where do we put him like
Right.
like with what the Cardinals had with Isaiah Simmons a few years ago, where like, is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? And
Yeah,
then
he was jumping
like
all over the
he didn't end
place.
up working out at all. So I do think Will Johnson is probably the better pick, safer pick there. Um, Bengals need defense and
Yes.
guard.
Yes.
Um, it's just the question of do they go get the guard or do they go get the defense
I
immediately?
think they need to focus on defense, specifically because their offseason was very highly focused on their offense.
Yeah,
So
I can see that. And
I think we should go defense here. If they're
defense
smart, I
was
think that's what they're
abysmal
gonna
last year. Um, I think when you look at their team, you might look at safety in the secondary, especially. This would have been a really good spot for Malachi Starks, if we're being honest.
do.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
this
because they
might
could
be a barren spot because they have so many holes that you can just figure out where his home will be and throw him there.
right,
I could see that
right.
happening.
I'm also thinking though, like they just lost a lot of people on their D line too, though, is a thing.
Yeah, I could see them like taking Kenneth Grant,
That's kind of where I was looking, honestly.
just because, yeah, they, especially the interior D line, like they lost a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So I can see them doing that. They also do need an edge. Um, like right now. Trey Hendrickson is not really technically with the team right now. Like they're trying to figure everything out with him.
Right.
He
Yeah,
trade.
he's like off the team technically.
Yeah. Miles Murphy, who they drafted a few years ago, like has potential. He hasn't really um, been able to maximize that, but he could be a guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up starting at the edge next year.
Right.
But yeah, I think that he might go Kenneth Grant here, shore up that
Do it.
interior defensive
Do
line.
it.
Two Michigan guys off the board back to back. That's wonderful. Um,
Hey, they do. I mean, they produce NFL talent,
they do, they
unfortunately.
do, they do.
Fortunately.
Unfortunately, they do. Seahawks. So they got their quarterback situation figured out, I guess. They got Sam Darnold now.
Darnold season.
Um, I don't know how much that really changes things. Um, Receiver, I could see them going
I
here.
was gonna say I could see a receiver as well.
Because obviously they have Smith and Jigba and they have Cooper Cup.
Right.
Um, Kind of a double redundancy on them. They're both kind of slot guys.
Yeah.
So that's
Right.
going to be interesting how they figure that out. Um, I could also see them going with offensive linemen. I feel
Yeah.
like offensive line has just been a rotating situation of like we need one for a while.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but yeah, I so for me, the way I see it, it's receiver or one of these guys.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know either of
Jaden
them.
Higgins might be a decent guy. He's a big-bodied receiver, um,
6'4", 215.
which kind of is that what Marquez Valdez-Scantling is right now for them, but like actually
Okay.
good,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Right.
So I could see them going Jaden Higgins just because he's that bigger guy. I don't like they already have their two shifty guys in Smith and Jigba and they have Cup. So I could
Right.
really see them going Higgins here.
Big target. Yeah.
Or I could see them, doing Calvin Banks, and throwing him on the outside at opposite Charles Cross. Um,
Right.
but I mean, like for me, I just feel like, or Tyler Booker, even I could see them doing that. Just as having a guard that doesn't suck. But I'll
Right.
leave this one up to you, Tyler. Do you think they go receiver? Or do you think they go offensive
I
line?
was gonna leave it up to you. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I think I think they might go offensive line personally, just because they do kind of. I mean, they have two solidified receivers right now. They can always find a bigger bodied guy a little bit later in the draft
Mhm.
too. You know, I
I
don't
see
think they
that.
necessarily want to reach at 18, so I think they might just go best available. And
Yeah.
that looks like it's offensive line too, which kind of adds up perfectly for them.
hmm Yeah, I could see them taking Calvin Banks here. I mean, right now their right tackle is Abraham Lucas, who like he's fine. He's not
Right,
like amazing.
right,
He's okay. Charles Cross also has not been as great as they kind of hoped he would
right.
be. I could see that happening, or I could also see them kind of looking at a guy like Gray Zabel who they can play at multiple positions and figure out where he fits best.
Let's do the NDSU product. Let's do Gray Zabel because I like that they might be able to move him around a little bit too.
Yeah, because yeah, like right now it's kind of like they really do need guard a lot. So it
Right,
might be and center. So that might be just be the best situation for them.
right.
Um, Bucks. Now, this might be crazy. I think this is where you see the first linebacker come off the board.
Okay.
I think they take Jahad Campbell, which recent history for the Bucks taking linebackers was Devin White, which did not work out.
He was good though.
He
He
was
was
good for a few years,
yeah, he was good.
but it didn't end up being a long-term solution. Levante
Right.
David is old.
I mean that's a pretty good pick, I would say.
So I think that you can take Jahad Campbell to be the heir apparent to Levante David, let him play next to him, learn all that kind of
Yeah.
crap. I think that this makes the most sense personally.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Awesome. Okay,
Boom.
Broncos. Who would have thought the Broncos were like a playoff team at the beginning of
I
last
know.
year?
I know.
Um, you know, I they need running back really bad.
Mhm.
But I just with Jim off the board, I
What do we
don't
have
really know if you're
for
going to
running back?
get like Omari and Hampton's good, but like I don't know if
Hampton's good. Hampton is good.
but is he a first round draft pick?
I don't know, man, because think about this. Kenneth Walker, I thought was like the greatest running back ever, and he was a second round pick.
Yeah,
So running backs just don't go off the board in the first round. It's
no.
not even Kenneth Walker.
They
Like
they
it just
really don't.
doesn't happen.
They don't love they don't love running back
No,
positions here. Um,
running back gets no love, man. Seriously, like
no.
it's the most easily replaced position, and like no one's gonna draft it high because of that reason,
Mm.
unless it's Genty because he's
I
you
mean,
know
at the same time though, like looking at it, it's with the way this board has fallen, it's maybe you go receiver
yeah.
just because they have Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims Jr. is wide receiver two,
Hmm.
Devon Vele is wide receiver three. I could see them really wanting a receiver here.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a couple of guys that could fit that mold.
Yeah. I'm
I
just
just
reading.
think that the receiver class is good. Like I think that there are some guys who could be late firsts.
Hmm.
I don't know if right now at pick 20 it makes the most sense.
Because that feels like kind of a reach too.
Yeah. Um, and because of that, like I keep coming back to Hampton
Yeah.
because he might just be the best available.
I was gonna say Hampton for what they need at least, right?
Mhm.
Like best
Yeah,
available for what they need. Let's do it.
I really see that happening. With the Steelers here, I almost clicked Johnny Brown on accident.
What are you doing?
What
What
do
are
you
you
mean?
doing?
What do you mean?
No, that's not what they need the most.
Yeah, it is.
Look, their number one need, Thomas.
I can tell you this much right now. It's not Shadeur Sanders.
Why not?
I, it's not Shadeur Sanders. It's just not.
Come on.
It's just not Shadeur Sanders.
Why? Why though? Because
Because
because that's what you don't want, or because you think that's what they're actually not gonna do.
I don't think that they're going to take Shadeur Sanders
All
if
right,
he
fine,
falls.
fine.
Because I think Aaron Rodgers is going to end up in Pittsburgh.
Still might be worth the pick.
I just don't think that they take him. I think that they
Fine,
might take like
fine.
Jackson Dart in the third round or something. But I think that they need a defensive line.
I like that. I like Jackson Dart in the third. All right, fine.
I think they need a defensive lineman. I think that they
Oh
take Derek
man,
Harmon.
if Derek Harmon would have, I don't
I
remember
know
if he
if he would have
stayed.
stayed in MSU.
Yeah,
This isn't the pick because Derek Harmon was a Spartan. I
yeah,
think that when you look at what Derek Harmon is versus the kind of defensive lineman the Steelers like, you know, he
yeah,
just fits that mold.
yeah. I got you.
And so I just feel like he makes the most sense there. Like Cam Hayward's getting older. They just cut Larry Ogunjobi. Like they need defensive linemen.
Yeah.
And I'll say this. I'm working under the assumption that they're going to bring in Aaron Rodgers.
Hmm.
That's where I'm at right now. Is
I
that
got you.
um Chargers uh you know, they could use a receiver, I feel like. But again, like I don't think the value's there.
I was gonna say I don't know if a lot of these receivers are even gonna go off the board at this point in the last half end of the first round.
Yeah, I could
I
see
think they're
them.
more second round guys, at least from like their rankings or ADPs. I don't know. And I don't really know a ton of their names either, is the thing.
Yeah,
And I feel like most first round wide receivers, I know majority of their names for the usually for the most part. So I don't
yeah,
know. Maybe that's me being a casual or a non-ball knower, but that's also kind of my thought process too.
yeah. I will say,
Okay, actually, here's the thing. I think that teams have to fall in love with a player for them to draft them in the first round, right?
yeah.
I mean, Lions, for example, have made some at what at first looked like questionable decisions, but they loved who they were
Hmm.
drafting and they knew who they were, so it made sense. But we obviously don't have that thought process for these
Yeah,
DMs and what they're thinking and what they're seeing. So
yeah, exactly. So for me with this, I think this might be a Baron spot. They just lost Asante Samuel Jr., who was kind of like a slot
where
corner.
did he go?
I think he might just be a free agent.
Oh, really? See, I thought he was pretty good.
He is good. I don't know. He might have signed somewhere. Let me look it up. Well, let me look up Asante Samuel Jr. Asante Samuel Jr. is still a free agent. Yeah,
Interesting.
I mean he's good. He was good. I don't know what's going to go on with that, but I feel personally like this might be where Jade Barron finds his home as
Let's
being
do
that
it.
like tweener guy. Like
Right.
they can throw him in a lot of different spots in that secondary, which you know their secondary isn't terrible,
Hmm.
but like he might be best player available and be able to fill a need that's still present.
Okay. Let's do it.
Packers, gosh, I think that this is where you see Mike Green stop falling.
Was just
They
gonna say
need
the same exact thing.
they need an edge rusher, and
Yep.
yeah, I
It
just
says
think
they need receiver, but they do have like a ton of young guys that they can work
yeah,
out
like
that aren't terrible.
they have a real like a lot of like capable receivers. It's just they don't have
Right.
a guy at receiver.
Right. Right.
And I don't think any of the receivers left on the board are going to be people that are going to become, the
That
guy.
guy. Yeah.
So I see Mike Green there and I like it. Minnesota Vikings, um, they're such a complete team, man. Like I don't think that they have a lot of glaring holes. Um, like yeah, I don't know how to describe it. They just have such a good, well-rounded team. Especially like picking up Javon Hargrave to be on their defensive line is going to be awesome for them.
The
Uh,
grave digger.
I could see them going secondary again. Um, but I could also see them just taking best player available
Yeah.
as well. Uh,
Yeah. I don't whatever you I'm gonna resort to you on this pick here because I don't really know or care about the Vikings. So
I could see this being um, I could see this being an edge spot, get another edge rusher in there. Um, just because, they've got some pretty decent edge rushers already. But with
right.
how the board has fallen, I could see them going there again. I could see them taking Walter Nolan as well,
That's kind
just
of that's where my eyes went.
just because like he's really, he fits he since they have such a deep team, he has time to like sit and like
Right.
figure stuff out.
Right.
So I can see them going Walter Nolan. We can do that.
Do it. Let's do it.
Can you hear what's going on out in the is my mic picking that up?
No.
Okay, good. My rabbit is chewing the baseboards. Um,
Funny.
okay.
Text.
Texans, you know, they lose, they lose Stephon Diggs. Tank Dell is still coming back. I think that this might be a receiver spot,
Okay.
honestly. I just feel like we don't know when Tank Dell is going to be healthy. Obviously, Diggs is gone. They
Nico Collins
have
is kind of just left out there on an island.
they have Nico Collins. I just Christian Kirk is there. They did bring Christian Kirk in. So maybe not. I just I think it really does depend on do they think that Tank Dell is going to be back in
Right.
time?
Right. And it might be safe to just take one anyways, just to be safe, I guess.
Yeah.
To
Or
have
I could
someone
also
out
see
there.
them going offensive linemen since they
Right.
did kind of
So
just
I
get
was
rid
thinking
of
since they
Laremy
got rid of
Tunsil.
like Tunsil and everything, like they might go just lineman or
Like
in
I
the
could see
draft.
them doing Kelvin Banks here.
Right. That's where my eyes went at first too when we were looking at the best available too. Just because one, like I think with the whole receiver thing, like if they have a receiver they love, but like if you're just like with no out like inside information, it's like you're just guessing at that
Yeah.
point. right?
I like Kelvin Banks here. I think that receivers on their radar just because they lost. Like, you don't know if Tank Dell's going to be back, and Christian Kirk also does have some injury issues.
Right.
But yeah, I do think it makes sense. Tyler, this might be crazy, but I think that they might take Shadeur Sanders if this falls this way
I don't hate that pick.
because Stafford's only getting older.
Yeah.
They already were working on the assumption he was going to be gone
Right.
after this year.
Yeah.
I can see Shadeur Sanders getting taken here, especially just because, or or the Browns trade up in and come back into the first round.
Uh, let's do Shadur, honestly. That's a interesting pick. I think a lot of people wouldn't expect that to happen too. So,
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't
and
be
then listen to
surprised if
this.
Shadeur fell out of the top
Listen to
10.
this. If that happens, then we can say we're the first to report it.
True,
So,
true, true. I wouldn't be surprised if Shadeur fell out of the top 10. The only thing is if he does, someone's going to come up and trade to get him. Obviously, we
yeah,
need
I kind of agree
trades,
with that too. Yeah.
but yeah. Um, Ravens. Let's give them the worst player possible. Just an absolute scrub. Let's look at special teamers.
They're probably gonna go edge, I would assume.
Yeah, I could see them going edge.
I don't really know who they have on their defensive line.
I just I feel like edge makes sense just because of kind of where they're at with guys like Kyle Van Noy is one of their edge rushers.
Hmm.
Their other is Tavius Robinson. They have Odafe Owe still. He hasn't been great. David Ajabo hasn't really been able to come through
Yeah.
after his Achilles injury at Michigan. I could see them taking Michael Williams here.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
Just, I mean, edge is such a valuable position, especially, and Kyle Van Noy is getting older. I could see this being where they go here. Tyler, I'll let you make this pick. I'm gonna let you make this pick. Lions are up. Take your guy. Take who
We
you want.
need an edge. So it's look. I know Nick Scrouton is good. I don't know. Let me see Donovan. Let's look at Donovan. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Azaric Ruike.
He's gonna be small. I don't think that he's 4-3 edge rusher, to be honest.
Okay. Let's not let's get off Donovan. Pull up Nick Scrouton for me, please.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Scrouton.
He's bigger. He's on the bigger side. He would fit that 4-3 D lineman role.
Yeah, he can kind of move around too, from what they're saying.
Yeah.
Let's do Nick Scrouton. You know, and I that's also a guy I know from because strictly because of college football Ultimate Team. So that's my pick there. We do need edge though.
Yes, the Lions
That,
desperately need
that's all I really. I mean, I don't really think I even need to say that out loud. I think that's just a given with how the past years
edge.
went. So, and I'm happy with that pick. So,
Yeah, definitely. Commanders. I don't know why it says their big need is running back. Brian Robinson Jr. is literally fine.
yeah,
Um,
and Eckler was decent too last year too.
yeah,
So,
I don't know what that's all about. I could see them going offensive line just to continue to like keep Daniels protected, but I could also see them going um either edge um or corner here. Um they
so
do run a 4-3, so I don't think that
I was
is
gonna
your
say, like,
option.
is he just gonna continue to fall? Because like I don't know a ton about him. He obviously, other than he's like a little undersized.
I just like I don't think that he fits this, and I don't think that he's going to be a first round pick. I
Okay,
think that
okay,
PFF just has him rated highly for some reason.
okay.
Um, I really do not think that he's going to be a first round pick at all.
What
Uh,
about Shamar Stewart? What are we working with Shamar?
yeah, I mean he's another big guy.
Yeah, he's the
I
tank.
think
My
that he
God,
would fit
A&M
their
had a
mold.
freak defensive end, like two freak defensive ends.
I could see them going with this here, just because like Cleveland Farrell is one of their starting edge rushers. Not that he sucks, but like he's not
Right.
great. Like I could see them going Shamar Stewart if that's what you want.
Sure. Book it.
Um, Bills, do they take their third tight end with Colston Love?
I think they're good on tight end.
Yeah, I think they are too. This might be where Ezra Waku goes if
Okay.
we wanted him to go early. The Bills do run a 3-4.
What about Jalon
Or
Walker
no, they
though?
run a 4-3 still,
I'm
actually.
looking at
I'm stupid.
Jalon Walker right now, or Jalen, I guess, Jalen Walker.
This, yeah, I mean that fits. I mean Matt Milano is getting older.
Right.
Um, Terrell Bernard is okay.
Hmm.
Dorian Williams is okay. I could see them doing that. I could also see them. This would be such a good spot for a safety,
Okay.
to be honest. I don't know if
There's one
I
worth.
don't think there is one that's like that guy. Um, I could see them doing Trey Amos, um, if they needed a corner,
Okay.
which I mean
They kind of do.
they kind of do, yeah.
So,
Um, but I could also just see them like I think that either Xavier Watts or Trey Amos might be a good pick here.
okay.
Just because right now their starting safeties are Taylor Rapp and DeMar Hamlin,
Yeah.
which
Let's do Watts, yeah, because as much as DeMar is a great story, I don't know if he's the best
yeah,
safety, if
I
we're
don't
being
think
honest.
he's the long-term
So,
solution there, no.
yeah,
The Chiefs,
are gonna take a
they might need an offensive lineman, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
I could see them doing Josh Connerly here,
okay,
um, just because, you know, he's got good, he's got decent size. I think that he can play
hmm,
either tackle or guard. I think he's probably best at tackle, but like I
right,
think you can put him in if you needed to.
yeah, and they kind of lost people too, pieces. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's do yeah, tackle.
All right, Eagles.
What do they run defensively? Is Ezerike a fit there or no?
No, they run a 4-3.
Okay,
Well, do they run a 4-3?
don't know.
I think they run a hybrid front. They might run both. They might run both.
Couldn't tell you, man.
I think they might run both. Um, like I don't
But
think
what?
that
Okay,
they're.
but I guess I just read. What are you thinking for? Because you were kind of doing something before I said that out loud. What were you thinking?
I was thinking that this is literally like take literally whatever you want.
Right.
I do think that they could use a guard at some point just because Kenyon Green right now is slated to start at right guard for them, and he has not been the greatest
Hmm.
for them.
Hmm.
I could see them taking another receiver because right now Jahan Dotson's wide receiver three. Um, but I could also like,
I don't know. I think it's take best available, honestly, for the Eagles, just because yeah, they
yeah.
could use a different wide receiver three or better wide receiver three, but also I think their offense is a pretty well-oiled machine. They have a lot of weapons. Obviously, Saquon, they have Goddard, they
Mhm.
have, AJ Brown. So I don't know if I would necessarily go offensive weapon. I would say if we're going offense, maybe make it an offensive lineman, but I don't know if there's a guy worthy of that pick.
I could see Tyler Booker being that pick, to be honest. Um, like I think that he's the best guard prospect available right now.
Okay.
Um, and I just think
I don't hate that either. I mean,
knowing the Eagles
mine is
and
few
like
and far
when
between
they
still.
have their preferences, they always prefer to like build off of the offensive and defensive lines. I feel like
Yeah,
this makes
100%.
sense.
100%. So,
All right, Tyler. Well, there
boom,
is our pick, our draft.
boom.
We've earned one new award.
Hell
Log
yeah.
in to collect it.
What's the grade? What do you think the grade is?
Do they grade if you do a full one?
Don't know.
I don't think they grade it.
Save that. Send it to me.
I will.
Perfect.
Okay.
Boom. That's
topic.
our first round draft.
That's our first
Comment
round draft.
what you
Is
think.
it good?
Comment your biggest move. Comment who you think your favorite team's gonna take. Tell us if we're idiots, if we don't know anything at all. I was throwing if we're throwing darts at a random board,
Yeah.
whatever.
We'll be more prepared for part two when we do our second mock draft. But
Yeah.
this is just, I mean, it's good to just see kind of how things are falling. I
Yeah.
do not think that Shedeur Sanders is going to fall that far.
No, I don't
Uh,
either.
but yeah, I mean, just how the board fell, that's where it ended up going. So, all
Yeah.
right.
And yeah, I think that he will definitely be off the board pretty quickly. But, we just like to mess around.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, everybody. Well, be sure to follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
hmm
Follow us on Twitter. Tyler, what's our at on Twitter?
Our at is, I think, at Knowing Ball Pod.
Awesome. Follow us on Twitter at Knowing Ball Pod. We
Yeah.
are not on Blue Sky because
That's funny. Yeah,
we're
follow
just not.
us.
Yeah, follow us.
Comment,
Yeah, leave us a comment.
interact with our
Let
stuff.
us know.
If
Yeah.
more people follow the Twitter, I will actively use it. I was using it at the beginning of the tournament. I'll actively use it more if people
Tyler, I
follow
think
it
you're
because
supposed to actively use it so people want to follow the Twitter.
no one interacts with it. So it makes me not want
Because we
to.
don't buy Twitter Blue.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're not
To
buying Twitter
invest.
Blue. That I
Uh,
refuse to do that. We're
okay.
not
All
doing
right. Me too. So that's why. Okay.
that.
All right.
Anyway, that's the pod, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.